Now look at that. That's the deal. 130 pound Kevlar, 80 pound rings, 100 and something pound solid ring. That is not coming off. Hey guys, we're in Troy's, what do you call this section?
This is bar area, mate.
We're in the bar area. We don't have a beer. Why don't we have a beer?
Oh, we better get one, eh?
You would have seen my last couple of videos fishing with the Megabass Magdraft, and
there you go, mate.
Thanks, boss. Very, very high maintenance. Hard to cast. Lots of repairs when you catch fish because of the way the hook's designed to sit in the belly and they tear out. And then if you run that jerry rig setup that I ran, we've come up with a few new ideas, improved it, and I'm about to cut all this rig off and try again. So what we have done at the moment is I've taken the hook off there, and the idea was that this stabs in there and the hook sits like that. So no hook on the top anymore, 2 hooks on the bottom, 1 free swinging one. We're going to improve that right now. We're going to take away the swivel. So we're using 130 pound Kevlar, DKK super slides, because I put on the post the other day and a lot of people said super slides, fine a hook but strong, so I'm keen to give that a go. The
secret little
thing.
Hook keeper, some long shank bait holders, that's what I was looking for.
So what we're doing, cut the hook off the bait holder so you only have straight part with the keepers on it, and then you stab that into the lure and it can't go anywhere. We're going to make this a little bit better yet. I don't like how the swivel hangs down, it's too heavy. So we're going to cut all that off, we're going to redo this, and then we'll show you prototype version.
Well, here's number 1.
Yeah.
So this is our first one we played around with.
I'll show you how that rig was going to work. Inserted a loop in the top there as a keeper. The hook went through that and sat on the top. Then that solid ring goes to a split ring, and there you have it. So that was like that. Because, when I did the jerry rig and what I've seen from everyone else, the idea was to run a hook on the top. I would much rather this double hook up setup on the bottom with free swinging hooks.
Or you could go all 3.
Yeah, or we could use barbed wire, as my mate Newbie would call this. If a cod misses that, I'm in trouble. But I ain't going to do that. So that's version 1, this is version 2 coming off. This is version 3. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to cut this swivel off because once you cut it off, then that's it, you're done. But here goes.
Here goes nothing.
Ooh. So there we go. Naked. I'm excited about this next model. This is a 130 pound Kevlar, so this is going to be permanent on the lure. And worst case scenario, after a couple of trips, you wreck it, you can do it again. Yeah, so the other day, I don't know if you know in that video whether I talked about it, there was only 2 fish out of the whole lot that came on the top assist, and 1 fish that I missed folded that tail over onto the top assist. So had he not hooked the assist up, he probably would have come in as well on the top hook. But so I guess it depends what angle they eat the lure at.
This could be a new show, mate. Beers in the shed.
Beers in the shed. Lure manufacturing, whatever it's called. Modification. You don't want to see some of the modifications we're doing lately.
No.
Top secret. And you would cry if you saw what we do to a $100 bait. That's not very good.
What were the boys on the top one, though?
Well, I guess that's just where you assume to put one.
Yeah.
Because how do you work out how to do this? Because same as what we did, you got that swivel.
Yeah.
And it's permanent.
Yeah, so
you don't make it unpermanent. Yeah. And you got that belly slot, which I didn't like, which I'll probably hot my feet up to give the lure a bit more strength. So I'm happy with this. And I'll put this solar res to lock it. So what's the time? 8 o'clock. What we're actually supposed to be doing, what Randy thinks we're doing, is making a jigging hook, these jigging hook videos that Troy makes, jigging assist hooks for a work video.
But we changed our mind.
We got a bit sidetracked.
Lucky it's after hours.
Yeah, no such thing for after hours for me.
No. Is that the soft sole or is?
Yeah. So also I would say, which is sort of why this setup is okay, because we can take it off.
Yeah, keep it in the packet.
Put your Magdraft back in here. Look
Don't throw
after
your packet out.
No. Keeps the tail, everything good. Because they're way too soft to risk wrecking.
Too expensive to work,
Yeah.
I reckon.
$50. It's not too bad, I guess.
Oh, it's cheaper than a swim bait.
This is the one that did all the damage the other day. Jerry rigged ADV braid, which survived. The only problem with that too is it slides down into the head of poor old lure. It's way down there. I straightened that hook so that it just stabs in the top of the lure. It basically sort of sat like that, a bit neater if I wasn't being so rough. And then I closed that belly gap up so this hook went in behind it and doesn't actually rip the plastic every time. Now look at that. That's the deal. 130 pound Kevlar, 80 pound rings, 100 and something pound solid ring. That is not coming off. Well, let's show Jerry versus the new one. So even in this version, which is way better than
Nothing.
original, or whatever you want to call it, you're limited with the hook movement.
Yeah.
And like it all sits against the body. Whereas the new version, it looks way better. That looks way more professional, the top one.
Yeah. Then you one on the
hook
bottom.
on the top looks stupid, but it's what the guys from Big Bass Dreams told me. I don't know if this is a secret or not.
Yeah. Giving the secrets away now.
It's not a secret anymore. So they use a bobby pin. This is not a bobby pin. See that? Like that. They use something like this, but it's a bobby pin to go over the hook and stick down into the body of the plastic, which this is what I did on Mark 1. So
Or Mark 2 technically.
yeah. So the idea was that it held the treble down in the top of the lure like that and it stabs in. And that way when a fish, like, it can just rip that out, obviously. Close that gap a little bit, and I think that would stay attached to the hook while you fight the cod.
So
I think that would work still.
So we got our hook. I don't know if
Bait keeper.
Bait keeper. And we just chop it off just here. So you see it there, we just chop it off there. I'm going to hold both ends so we don't lose it.
So yeah, now it's just a little spear, and because we're putting it, I'm actually putting it on the Kevlar inside the loop now, so we can't
You're
come off.
tying it in the loop.
Yeah, I'm not. It's only going in the half hitch. That's the deal. There's no way that is not gonna. It can't get missed now.
How's that going to sit in your packet?
It won't. You have to pull it
out anyway.
Pull it out, and that's nowhere near as much high maintenance now. I can probably peg that thing. I reckon. I don't think that.
Not as much.
That's what happens. So what I'm going to do now is some hot knife repairs to this poor thing. And by hot knife, basically what you're doing is plastic welding the lure back together. Use a knife that's obviously hot. Doesn't have to be a knife, just a piece of metal or something to be able to plastic weld it, and you just put it in there, pull it out, and when you put it in, it just basically goes back to a liquid. Push it back together, and it's way better than glue, because glue will go hard unless you have a soft plastic glue, which we don't have. The glue will go hard, and then you create another point where the plastic then tears off that hard glue. And now with this setup that I'm running with that little barb section in there, every time it pulls out, it's not really going to rip the soft plastic very much at all. This one's not going to affect the soft plastic at all on the nose. And that one, because it's a tiny little single spear, let's say it did tear a tiny bit of a hole, I can then put out any angle and it doesn't matter, it won't affect the way the hook sits in the body. Whereas when you set up that one like this on the top, or even just a standard treble on the top, once you tear that out, if you've torn that section, it's really hard now to put that back in anywhere and not affect the action of the lure. When this sat sideways across the body of the lure, the whole Magdraft would creep on its side, and you can't tell that it's swimming sideways, and you just wasted a whole cast. Righto.
Knife.
Knife.
Don't put it on me bench.
Don't tell Randy.
Yeah, don't tell Randy I'm in trouble already. She knows.
It's going to be black in a minute.
She's going to watch this video, you know.
Hey. Well, this will be a test. Put it in his belly, make it wet, pull it out.
Woo! Get eye on that stuff.
Yeah, but now it's done. Belly is fixed. So then it's as if now those things never existed.
Yeah.
There's some sort of glue you can get that is just basically soft plastic.
Yeah, right.
Like it doesn't go hard.
Yeah.
And then all you would do if we tear that hole out, because that's why I had this in the boat the other day.
Yeah.
Left in the boat, so that I can just hot knife it. Now there is no slot anymore, and it's soft, malleable. It's not like glue. There's no hard spot, and our little spear just will stab back in there, but I won't for now because I want it in the packet. And those tiny little barbs will keep him in there, and that is the best jerry rig there is. Right, here's the instructional now that we're happy. We're still not sure it swims, so don't trust me on that. So that is what you need. 2 split rings, 2 2.0 hooks, solid ring, Solar Res 2014 mustard bait holder.
I was going to use on Monday.
What size? Size 1?
Ones.
UV lamp, one big Magdraft. That's what the bait holder looks like after you cut it. It's like a little spear. Still has the barbs on it. That's why we want a welded Magdraft, so she's all good. And then 130 pound Kevlar. So yeah, go through your lure like so. Over the whole lure. Back out. Leave enough to half hitch it and then pull all your slack through. Pull that tight. Get your measurement. Probably, yeah, I reckon you can cut it at the tail. Solid ring, same thing. So you poke it through the solid ring, back over the solid ring. Now lay that loop there to get the length that you want. Then you let your solid ring go down the line. Fold that over your solid ring. Pull him tight. And I use the split ring pliers to pull him tight before. Now get our fancy, what do you call it? Anchor?
Spike.
Fancy spike. Put it over the line before you do the half hitch. Trim our tags off. This is quick now anyway.
Bit of
Solar
UV.
Res.
Ooh, another one done.
Check this out now. Look at that. In a binder.
And that's what we need the packets for.
Exactly. And all the tails will be nice. Hooks are all nice in there. Then in this little section, plastic bands to go around the bodies. My little thingies, which I'm not sure I'm going to use. Spare Kevlar. Spare solid rings and barbs. Well guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you want to find out what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis, just jump on any one of my other social media pages. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm constantly putting up a couple of videos a week now to keep you guys entertained. Otherwise, this has been Dean Silvester, Fishing My Way.